Lesson 9, factoring an expression. So example 1, the product of two factors. When you have the product of two factors, you're distributing. So you have 2 times x, and then 2 times a plus 5. So the sum of that would be 2x plus 10. For b, you'd have 3 times x and 3 times plus 4. That would give us 3x plus 12. The next one, we would have 6 times x and 6 times a positive 1. That would give us 6x plus 6. And last, for d, we would have 7 times x and 7 times negative 3, which would give us 7x minus 21. So for example 2, if I'm looking at our rectangular array, it says write the product and the sum of the expressions being represented in this rectangular array. The product is 2, and then in parentheses, 12d plus 4e plus 3. The sum is the answer to that distributive property, which would be 24d plus 8e plus 6. So let's review. To find the greatest common factor, the first thing we do is list the factors of each number. So the factors of 14 would be 1 and 14, 2 and 7, and that would be all. Remember, in our calculators, we would start with we write 1 and 14, then we use our calculators and divide 14 by 2, and keep going. As long as you have an even number, you're okay. The minute that it's not an even number, so for example, like 2.5 or 3.6, then you know that that doesn't go in evenly. So you skip that number and you continue until you have numbers that are side by side or the same number, like a 2 and a 2, and then you know enough to stop. So for example, factors of 28, we would have 1 and 28. I have 2 and 14. Three doesn't go into 28, not evenly. 4 goes into 28 7 times. 5 does not go into 28 evenly. 6 doesn't go into 28 evenly. And our next number is 7, which we already have. So now I'm going to circle our common factors, as it says in step 2. And if I circle all of our common factors, I have 2. I have 7. And I have 14. And the one that we want is the greatest common factor. And it says, what is the greatest common factor? And that greatest common factor is 14. It's the largest one. So to try yourself, it says find the greatest common factor of the following numbers by listing the factors of each. So for 45, we have 1 and 45, 3 and 15, 5 and 9. For 30, I have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. So if I circle all the common factors that I have there, I have 3, 5, 15. So my greatest common factor is the largest one, which is 15. So now to factor my expressions, step 1 would be to find the greatest common factor of each number in the box. So I'm going to take the greatest common factor of 15 and 25. So of 15, I have 1 and 15, 3 and 5. For 25, I have 1 and 25, 5 and 5. So my common numbers, my common factors are 5 and 5. So my greatest common factor is 5. So step 2 says to divide each term by that greatest common factor. So here's my factor right here, my greatest common factor, and I'm going to divide 5 into 15. And if you notice, my factors of that 5, when I divide it into 15, is 3. And I'm going to bring up my x. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. So step number 3 says to write your answer, which you have your greatest common factor on the outside, and then on the inside, and our greatest common factor at that point is that 5. And then on the inside is what is on top of the box, which is the 3x and plus 5. So our answer then would be 5 times 3x plus 5. Now exercise 1 says factor each expression. So for A, we're going to find the greatest common factor between 72 and 8. So for 72, I have 1 and 72. 2 and 36. 3 and 24. 4 and 18. 6 and 12. And 8 and 9. For 8, I have 1 and 8, 2 and 4. So my common factors here, I have are 2, 4, and also 8. So my greatest common factor, the largest number that I have in common with both of those, are 8. So when I put this in here, I have 72 t, and on the right-hand side, I'm going to put in plus 8. So my greatest common factor, I'm going to put on the outside, is here. So 8 goes into 72 9 times, and I'm going to bring up my t. 8 goes into 8, 1 time. So I did step 2, I divided it, and step 3, I'm going to write my answer. I have 8 and then in parentheses, 9t plus 1. So now B, we have 36. So I'm going to take 36 and 72. Now we just had 72, so I can just restate what those factors are. So 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, 4 and 18, 6 and 12, 8 and 9. For 36, I have 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. So our common factors here are 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. So now creating my box, I have 36C plus 72. So putting my 36 out here, 36 goes into 36 once, bring up my Z. 36 goes into 72, positive 2 times. So to rewrite this, I have 36 in parentheses, Z or 1Z plus 2. My next problem, both of these are 3s, so I can just do the 3. My factors are 1 and 3, so obviously my greatest common factor is the 3. So I'm going to put it in my box. So 3R plus 3S. So I'm going to bring 3 out here. So 3 goes into 3, 1R. 3 goes into a positive 3 plus 1S. So I can rewrite this 3 times R plus S, or 3 times 1R plus 1S. My next one, we have 55 and 11. So my factors of 55 are 1 and 55, 5 and 11. My factors of 11 are 1 and 11. So my common factors are 11. So I can draw my box. So I have 55A plus 11. So I'm going to bring 11 out here. So 11 goes into 55A 5 times, and I'm going to bring up my A. 11 goes into plus 11 plus once. So my answer is 11 times 5A plus once. My last one is 144 and 15. So 144 is 1 and 144, 2 and 72, 3 and 48, 4 and 36, 6 and 24, 8 and 18, 9 and 16, 12 and 12. 15 is 1 and 15, 3 and 5. So our common numbers are 3, and that's all. So when I create my box, I have 144 Q minus 15. And I'm going to bring my 3 out here. So when I divide it, I have 48. Bring up my Q. 3 goes into negative 15, negative 5 times. So 3 times 48 Q minus 5 in parentheses. Here ends lesson 9.